the government of Iceland agreed to pay Britain and the Netherlands $5.3 billion to compensate depositors of a failed Icelandic bank in their countries. That is the equivalent, not a trivial amount of cash, of $16,400 in debt for each man, woman, and child in this country. That agreement was enshrined in a treaty and law in this country. The president of Iceland blocked that law and initiated a referendum. The president now joins me. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. President Grimsson, I have to ask you, are you concerned a little that you may be deepening your country's economic problems? After all, no one really likes people that don't pay their debts.
No, I'm not, because what has happened since I made that decision is that everybody now agrees that that deal which you described is an unfair deal. The British and the Dutch have recognized that by putting a new offer on the table last week, and everybody here in Iceland has recognized that as well. So we are, on the basis of the referendum, hopefully moving forward to a better and fairer deal.
Fitch has downgraded the rating here for bonds to junk. S&P, Moody's may follow. You're not getting the IMF money. Are you concerned about your ability to borrow? You're going to need money to keep the country going.
No, quite frankly, we don't need in the immediate future. And with respect to the rating agencies, we take them with a grain of salt, because we still remember that when some people were starting criticizing the Icelandic banks in 2006 and 2007, these rating agencies you mentioned gave them top marks.
But you could use the IMF money.
Well, I don't think so, because let's look at this. Iceland agreed to a program with IMF. We have, in fact, outperformed every criteria which the IMF put forward. But why aren't we getting the IMF loan? Because the British and the Dutch are using these international institutions as a bargaining power with respect to Iceland. And that is not respectable for institutions like the IMF.
Let me ask you this, sir. You rejected the first deal. What would it take to get you to approve an IceSave agreement with the British and the Dutch?
Well, since I made that decision, we have got all the parties in Iceland coming together. We have created a new negotiating team. They are now in the process of talking to the Dutch and the British on a fair deal. A week ago, the British and the Dutch put on the table an offer which was a good step forward, but that offer still involved a profit element for Britain and the Netherlands, in addition to reimbursing every depositor in those countries. And the profit element, if you put it within the size of the British economy, would be tantamount to £91 billion profit. And what we are simply saying now, let us make a deal, let us do this in a reasonable and fair way, without those countries making such huge profit on the deal.
Let me ask you this, sir. This is the first referendum really on sovereign debt we're seeing since the financial crisis from a country. That is what is really happening here in this country. Do you think of Iceland as perhaps an example to other countries? For example, Greece, it has its financial problems. Do you think the people of Greece should follow Iceland's example and maybe have a referendum in their country, people power, and let them decide how they get their financial house in order?
Well, you're absolutely correct that the essence of what is taking place here is that ordinary people, farmers and fishermen, taxpayers, doctors and nurses, teachers, are being asked to shoulder through their taxes a burden that was created by irresponsible, greedy bankers. And what I did was to say that it is important that that decision should be taken with the people being allowed to vote on it.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President. We're going to have to leave it there.